Following the Cowboys' 30-27 loss to the Carolina Panthers on Sunday, head coach Brian Schottenheimer said he had no question that Dallas had the personnel to be able to execute Matt Eberflus' defense. On Monday, Cowboys COO/co-owner Stephen Jones echoed the same sentiment. "Yes, I do," Jones said when asked on 105.3 The Fan if Dallas had the pieces they need defensively. "This just comes down to execution. We've got to continue to be more consistent, and we can certainly do it. I think this is a work in progress. Obviously, we've got a lot of work to do on the defensive side of the ball." Going to work and chopping wood were 2 points that Jones repeatedly mentioned when discussing how the Cowboys need to go about fixing their defense, which ranks last in the NFL for yards allowed per game with 411.7, the only team in the league allowing north of 400 yards per game. Even though a lot of the same struggles that have plagued them through the first 5 games arose in Week 6, Jones feels that this is all a process that can be worked out. "I think it's a work in progress. There's no question. Matt Eberflus has been a very successful defensive coordinator in this league," Jones said. "It's a matter of our guys executing the defense, probably going to be some give and take in there. Us doing more and more of what our guys may do better in terms of how it works with what he's doing. It's just one of those things where we just have to continue to go to work every week and get better." When asked how much of a step back the Cowboys' defense could take if they were to make a change at defensive coordinator at this point in the season, Jones reiterated that the team is focused on themselves at the moment and is confident in their future outlook. "Guys, we're worried about getting to work, going to work this week and getting better each week, so we can be more consistent and execute," Jones said. "We feel like, as Coach Schottenheimer said, well, we've got good personnel, and I think we're going to evolve into a good defense." With 6 games in the books and 11 to go, it is still relatively early in the season, but it won't stay that way for much longer. At one point, do Jones and the Cowboys not think it's early in the year anymore? "I haven't thought about that," Jones said. "When you come to work every day, you think about the task at hand. We don't think about the season as a whole. We think about the next game." With their next game being against a dynamic offense in the Washington Commanders and the future schedule not getting any easier, Dallas is running out of time to fix things. One of the first areas they're looking for improvement in? Communication, which has been a consistent problem on the back end. "The fact that we're not playing well is alarming," Jones said. "Our goal here is to play championship-caliber football. Communication and execution go hand in hand. You've got to be communicating well to execute, and certainly that's a part of the lack of execution at this point." It's become a common refrain among Cowboys fans, media, and players alike. The team's defense is not working, and someone should be held accountable. Defensive coordinator Matt Eberflus would be the most obvious target, and the question of whether his style of play meshes with the Cowboys' personnel has been the subject of much debate. Or maybe there is no debate. It's just obviously not working. The Cowboys allowed 30 points in the loss to the Panthers in Week 6, running their season mark to 184 points allowed, 30.7 points per game, which is 31st in the NFL. They are 32nd in pass yards allowed, 1,617, and 29th in rush yards allowed, 853. Firing Eberflus 6 games into the season probably does not make much sense, because the Cowboys would then have to either install a new coordinator and new defense on the fly, or bump up someone from within who would probably only change things on the margins. Still, the team is at a point where it seems matters can't get worse, and some change is better than no change. Cowboys must put in more work on defense. Stephen Jones, the Cowboys VP and son of owner Jerry Jones, was asked on Monday about firing Eberflus, and his response was likely not what the bloodthirsty among the Cowboys fan base was looking for. "They're not making a move for a new DC at this point. Guys, we're worried about getting to work, going to work this week and getting better this week, so we can do more consistent executing," he told 105.3 The Fan in Dallas. "We feel like, as Coach Brian Schottenheimer said, well, we've got good personnel, and I think we're going to evolve into a good defense. We just have to go to work." Cowboys players not happy with Matt Eberflus's defensive course. The Cowboys have been working at this since late July, so it's been 2.5 months putting together a system that has not produced. One player who is outspoken about the need for the Cowboys to change their playing style, to go with more man-to-man coverage, has been cornerback Trayvon Diggs. He was decidedly unhappy on Sunday after giving up 410 yards to the Panthers. "Yeah, it's very frustrating," Diggs said after the loss to Carolina via the Dallas Morning News. "It's all these points given up. The receivers are running wide open down the field. Too many busted coverages. It's a lot. I feel like we're all over the place, and we really don't have no identity." Matt Eberflus has been a very successful defensive coordinator in this league. Jones pushed back on that nothing, saying the Cowboys are still evolving defensively. "More than a third of the way through the season, that's probably not encouraging. I think it's a work in progress, there's no question," Jones said. Matt Eberflus has been a very successful defensive coordinator in this league. He was really good when he was really good in Indy to the point where he got a head coaching job in Chicago and had really good defenses there. It's a matter of our guys executing the defense. There's probably going to be some give and take in there, us doing more and more what our guys may do better in terms of how it works with what he is doing. It's just one of those things where we have to continue to go to work every week and get better. The New York Jets could look to be big-time sellers at the trade deadline after jumping out to a 0-6 start to the season. The Jets' star running back Breece Hall has been mixed in a lot of trade rumors, and he recently made a crypto Instagram post that might suggest he's unhappy with his current situation in New York. Hall's likely leaving the Jets in the offseason as his contract expires, so a trade would make the most sense for the Jets. Fansided's Christopher Klein recently listed the Dallas Cowboys as the top landing spot in a potential trade for Hall ahead of the upcoming trade deadline. Breece Hall has 88 carries for 410 yards through 6 weeks, averaging a healthy 4.7 yards per tote despite the New York Jets' otherwise anemic offense. He's a shining star in the dimmest possible environment. We need to disband the Jets, but in the meantime, we should get Hall to a more competitive team. His contract is about to expire, and the Jets are in no position to spend big money on extending a running back. The Dallas Cowboys have been trying to figure out their running back situation for 2+ years now. Rico Dowdle appeared to offer a solution out of the blue in 2024, but Jerry Jones let him walk, and now he's dropping 200+ yards on Dallas in a Panthers uniform. Javonte Williams has performed well through 6 weeks, finding pay dirt 5 times and averaging 5.2 yards per carry, but he's not a bell cow, workhorse-type back the same way Hall is. The Cowboys seem to need a running back before the season, but Javonte Williams has been solid all year. Still, adding Hall would be a big upgrade to the running back room, allowing the Cowboys to split time and keep both running backs fresh all season. This could help the Cowboys push for a potential playoff spot. For the Jets, a trade would make the most sense. If the Cowboys are willing to give up a 4th-round pick in exchange for Hall, these two teams could agree on a deal in the coming weeks.